literally teaching that you can be justified and not one solitary work follows. That is basically the most heretical thing I've ever seen. Alright, moving on, folks. Now, to what Luther called the article or doctrine by which the church stands or falls, Calvin called the hinge of the Reformation. Even the Council of Trent recognized this to be the heart issue of the Reformation. That, of course, justification. Chapter 11 on justification. Those whom God effectually calleth, he also freely justified, not by infusing righteousness into them, but by pardoning their sins, and by accounting and accepting their persons as righteous, not for anything wrought in them, or done by them, but for Christ's sake alone. So it's not the faith that we produce, it's not the efficacy of our faith, but rather it is the will of God, it's his will that we find in Romans 9, not in the will of the man of the flesh, but completely relying on the will of God to either save or damn whoever that might be, whether they be reprobate or elect. Okay, the picture is this, and here's what the reformers were really getting at. Ready? Here we go. We got faith brings justification plus works. This is the mainstream Protestant equation, right? It's where we derive all of our doctrine from. This is the sole issue of Christianity as we know it today and as the reformers saw it back then, okay? Here is the Rome view. Faith plus works brings justification. Now, what you need to understand is they will say that it is grace. It's all grace. No. What they mean is they do the works by the faith which they produce. They have to cooperate with the grace given to them by Christ. Therefore, it's a synergist movement, what they're creating basically. They're saying that they have to cooperate with the grace given. That is a fatal error. A pernicious error. It's not the work of faith which we do, but rather it's the election of God that we need to rely on. Okay, maybe even a more wicked deviation, Protestant deviation, is this. Faith. And by the way, literally thousands and thousands of evangelical teachers in our day are teaching this heresy, frankly. That is, faith brings justification minus works. They are literally teaching that you can be justified and not one solitary work follows. That is basically the most heretical thing I've ever seen. No, we are sanctified daily. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That doesn't mean that they are meritorious works, but rather that Christ is working in us. Ephesians 2:10, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works. Authorized manuscripts. Now, this is the picture, okay? This is what we got to think about when we're talking about justification. This is correct. That is correct. Star that, highlight it in your notes. This is wrong. This is wrong.